Hello, 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 hello. Okay.
Vendors, why you are abusing your customers? Hey, those voice notes. Customer will say one, you will say 10. For what? It's a service. You serve. The customer is here, you are here, you deliver a service. How did I know all of this? I attended a customer service training some 3, 4 years ago. Yeah, and it changed my business. Now, customer rates my customer service over 95%. I don't want to say 100%. I don't want to be proud. Yeah, but my customer service in this store, in this business, is something to reckon with. Because I'm intentional. So I invested in my business and went to find out what keeps a customer loyal. Do you want loyal customers? Invest in a customer service training today. Go to CAS Consults now. They trained me 3, 4 years ago and I've been excelling. They are offering a customer service training in March. Sign up, put money in your business, and see the changes you desire. If you are a busy customer, okay now.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're watching us from. It's a pleasure to be here. Welcome back to the Fireside Chat series. The Fireside Chat series is our pre-summit conversation leading up to the Career Acceleration Summit, which will be holding on the 10th and 11th of October. This is our second week of the Fireside Chat series. I'm so glad to see you, everyone here. For those of us who are joining for the first time, thank you for joining in. If you are in the chat room, indicate. Let's know those who are joining us for the first time. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see you in the chat room if you are joining for the first time. If you're here, let me see you. You can indicate, just say, this is my first time. If this is your first time, let's know, let's welcome you. And for those who are here last week and are joining us again, thank you for coming back. We're glad to have you again. I can see Oluwatosin online. Thank you for joining. Mona, thank you. Welcome, 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 everyone. Last week was amazing. If you were here last week, you can indicate in the chat room, tell us how last week's session was. Let's know what you learned. You can drop a chat, let us know what your take home was from last week's session. I'm waiting in the chat room. Let's know what you learned last week. Drop a comment there. Let's see how last week's session went. Last week was mind-blowing. Our convener, Mrs. Agumbiade, Coach Folake, was here with us, and she took us through a lot. I mean, if you were here last week, I know that you learned a lot, and we're looking forward to today's session. Before we dive into today's session, let me just tell you a bit about the Career Acceleration Summit. This summit is not just another event. It's a gathering that brings together professionals, job seekers, entrepreneurs, and employers, both in the public and private sector, in Nigeria and outside the country. The idea of the summit is simple. We create a space where career people, career development, skill building, and meaningful networks can happen. It's a place where learning and collaboration, professional growth also happens there. If you're just starting out in your career, if you're looking to pivot into another sector, if you're aiming to rise higher in your career, it's a place where you should be. And we'll be having a lot of professionals coming to the Career Summit to speak about their journey, let us know what opportunities are available in different sectors. So please, on the 10th and 11th of October, if you haven't registered, this is the time for you to register. The link will be put in the chat room. You can click on it and register. Today's session is going to be mind-blowing. I'm looking forward to it. We have an amazing coach here with us today who's going to be taking us on career acceleration habits that pay over time. I mean, we need to develop these habits. Things don't just happen overnight, and we need to be consistent in some habits that would lead to success. Intentional actions, daily actions that connect directly to long-term career success. We're going to be learning about this today, and I'm looking forward to having everybody learn something here today. Emmanuel, I see you in the chat room. Thank you for joining in. Coinsola, I can see you. Coin Sparkles, I can see you. Thank you for joining in. All right. I mean, you can also tell us where you're joining from. Drop a chat. Emmanuel, this is your first time. Thank you. Thank you for joining in. Drop a chat in the comment section. Let's know where you're joining from. Let's know where you're joining from. Last week, the Abuja people were a lot here. Let's see if we have people from other states that would take the prize today. So drop a chat in the comment section. Let's know where you are joining us from. My name is Gideon. I'm joining in from Abuja, from the Career Acceleration Studio live in Abuja. Let's know where you are joining us from. Mona, yes, you're joining from Calgary, Alberta. Thank you. Mona was our moderator last week. And yes, it was a great session. Yes, Emmanuel is here live from Ibadan. Thank you for joining in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Without wasting so much time, I think we should jump into the session right away. We have Coach Benga Oyini here with us today. I'll just read his profile before we start. Coach Benga Oyini is a certified life coach, trainer, and consultant with over 18 years of experience in education, capacity development, HR advisory, and behavioral change coaching. He's a graduate of Ahmadu Bello University and an alumnus of the Olushola Lanre Coaching Academy. He's also NCFE UK certified. Passionate about raising the next generation of men. He's the founder of the King's Men Empowerment Foundation and the convener of the Boys Camp and the King's Men Boot Camp, platforms that mentor and equip boys and men to embrace purpose-driven, godly living. Olubenga has provided coaching and consulting services to schools, SMEs, religious organizations, private businesses, and individuals across Nigeria, West Africa, South Africa, Europe, the United Kingdom, Canada, and USA. Passionate about growth and transformation, he continues to equip individuals and organizations to maximize their potential and achieve measurable impact. Wow. Please welcome with me today, Coach Benga Oyini. You can give a hand clap. Give a hand clap in the comment section. Welcome, Coach Benga. Thank you for joining in. Coach Benga, it's nice to have you here. Thank you for joining in.
Thank you for having me. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you're watching from. Thank you, Gid.
I'll hand over to you and I'll be back after your session.
Okay, great. Good evening, everyone. It's good to be here. Coach Folake, thank you. I can see you. Mr. Israel, I can see you as well. Thank you so much. Let me share. Okay, let me send a request. I want to share my presentation. It's nothing, just a couple of pictures I want to put up. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you briefly my story and a few things I've learned. So that's me in that picture. I don't know why I was wearing a pink shirt, but I mean, a pink shirt looked like it was nice on me some 17, 18 years ago. I will not wear a pink shirt any longer, not today, but I was wearing a pink shirt and a purple tie. I began my career as a classroom teacher in a nursery, primary, and secondary school in Abuja. But deep down in my heart, I knew that I wanted to be more than a classroom teacher. So, I mean, from secondary school, even in the university, every time people ask me, so what do you want to end up doing? I said I wanted to be a trainer, a consultant, a speaker. In fact, in our graduation, you know that photo book they do, and they ask you, what do you want to be? I said, I want to be a world-class trainer and a public speaker. So that's what I wanted to. So I knew that there's something about me that I wanted to develop people. And that's the area I feel that I'm gifted. That's where I feel that my purpose is. So I wanted to play in the developmental space, in the knowledge and development space. Now, at first, teaching did not look like the right path for me, honestly. If you want to be a consultant, a public speaker, and all of that, teaching in a nursery, primary school seemed like a misfit. Now, the pay was very small. I mean, especially here in Nigeria, society often undervalues the work that teachers do. I mean, if you're a teacher 18, 19 years ago, you can imagine what my salary was like. You know, to make matters challenging, I had to turn down a banking job. So in 2007 or 2008, I got a banking job. I got a job with Zenith Bank through a friend of my dad, or the son of a friend of my dad. You know, he was the regional manager with Zenith Bank, and he just told my dad, he said, let that young boy come now, let me see him. He's a brilliant guy. Let's fix him in one of the branches of our banks in Abuja. So I went to see him and we had the chat and all of that. And he said, okay, what do you think? In the next 2 weeks or next week, come and start working in the bank. It was that easy. But you know, I turned out that job, even when I knew that it was going to pay me far much more than I was receiving as a teacher. My salary as a teacher was 33,000. I knew a couple of my friends who were working with Intercontinental Bank, and as coppers, they were earning 75K as coppers. So you can imagine if I came in at least maybe 100K, a little over 100K. And this was me struggling in a school, teaching in school, earning 33,000 naira, and I turned down a banking opportunity. You know, but something inside me, I knew working in the bank was not just the right fit for me. I just knew. And I had to explain to my dad, who did all he could, you know, to get me a banking job, which is more lucrative, makes more sense than teaching in a nursery school. So I stayed with teaching, working with children from ages 3 to 17. I was teaching. It was rigorous and very demanding. Anybody who has done any teaching job, I mean, I had to write lesson notes from nursery 1 to year 9. That's GSS 2. Then the school had not had GSS 3. So from nursery 1 to GSS 2, I had to write lesson notes every week in French language. Yes, you heard me right, in French language. But if you see 6 to 8 years, then you must have learned something about communication and the skill to speak well. I mean, I developed skills like communication, resilience, you know, and it also helped me to connect with some of the greatest minds I've ever met. That's the truth. Teaching made me connect to some of the greatest minds I've ever known. I mean, some of those children, this was me in 2009 or 10. You know, so those who say, you make very wonderful PowerPoints. See, I've been making PowerPoints since 2002. I mean, for presentation. That's to tell you where my heart was as far as career was concerned. Do you understand? I knew that I wanted to be a trainer. I wanted to be a public speaker. This was me teaching children creative writing. This was me. I don't know why I was wearing a red shirt. There was something about me. So it was pink. Now it's red. Anyways, so this was me preparing to take a class. This was me in 2009, February. This government college, federal government college in Azare, Bauchi State. I went to do a training for the SS2 and SS3 on leadership. Now, while I was doing all of these things, I was still teaching in a school and I was receiving 33,000 naira as a salary, you know. But you see, I learned things like communication. I learned to build the right network. I learned patience. Patience. I mean, these are some of the things I took out of that experience. This was my first gig as a trainer. So while I was still training in that school, one of the things I did was I offered myself to the management of the school. I said, I want to train my colleagues on certain things I know how to do. There's something, the theory of learning. I did researches on all of that, emotional intelligence, the power of non-verbal, the power of non-verbal communication, all of those things, you know. And then so I used to train my colleagues, you know, for nothing, you know. And then so there was someone who was was the vice principal of the school as at that time, Mr. Oladejo. He left our school and went to Africa International School, a bigger school. And then he invited me over to come and train the teachers there. So look at the teacher as a leader. This was my presentation in 2012. Yeah, 2012. These are cross-section of teachers in the school. Look at me teaching, you know. This was me on an excursion. I took the children out on an excursion to a music studio. This was 2008 or 2009. I can't remember vividly. Now, this picture, every time I look at this picture, I just wonder, that girl wearing white, holding microphone, is in the university now studying medicine. The girl next to her is in 400 levels studying law. I saw this other girl, Emma, 2 Christmas away. The father invited me. There's another girl behind, the chubby girl. Esther Guar is studying medicine. I think she's in 400 level, Covenant University. These are kids that I taught in school and all of that. And I did it for almost nearly free. There's 3,000 naira could not even transport me enough at that time. Now, I want to share with you 3 things. So we're talking about career acceleration habits. What are the things that this lesson taught me? This was just my story coming into the corporate world and to work. You know, I learned 3 things. 1, alignment. 2, excellence. And 3, networking. Alignment. Just a moment. Alignment, excellence, and networking. And I want to talk to that. Now, one habit I've learned is to choose alignment over convenience. If you're going to go far, choose alignment over convenience. And I will explain what I mean. Don't just chase after opportunity that pays more. Look at it. Does this role, does it align with my passion? Does it align with my purpose? Does it align with my long-term goals? Because we're in the age that if it doesn't pay well, I'm not going to do it. And I talk to a lot of people say, I can't take 100K. I can't take 200K. Well, me, I took 33,000 naira and I dumped over 100K job. Yes, I did. And I had to explain to my father why I took that kind of a decision. But I did. And I can tell you emphatically that many years down the road, I'm grateful to God that I took that decision. Now, so what should you do? Think about your long-term goals. Where exactly am I going to? If I choose this job, will I be getting closer to where I'm going to or farther away from where I set out to go to? So my advice to you, simple habits. Always write out a personal career vision statement. Have a career vision statement. Where do I want to end up in the next 10, 15 years? Write it down. Be very explicit what I want to do. I want to be XYZ. I told myself I wanted to be a consultant. I wanted to help people realize their dreams. I wanted to help people find their niche. I wanted to help people become better. That's what I wanted to do. Whether they are teachers, business people, whatever it is, I just wanted to help people get better. So I knew that if I sat in the banking hall, counting other people's money or trying to make money for the bank, which is not a bad thing. I have nothing against bankers. I found that I don't know how long it would take me to become such a veteran banker to now switch into consultancy and then to start talking to people. But you see, for me, training children from ages 3 to 17 was easy way for me to hone my skills around communication and around presentation. So it worked for me. Now, when opportunity presents themselves, ask yourself 3 questions. Number 1, does it fit into my purpose? This opportunity, although it pays well, although it's in Canada, although it's in the US, although, there's an official car coming with it, does it fit into my purpose? Does it grow my core value? Number 2, what are my core values? What are my core skills? If I stay here, will I grow my core skills? Number 3, does it bring me closer to the realization of my vision? Based on that, you can take a decisive action. So the first thing for me was I chose alignment over convenience. It was convenient for me to say, oh, I'm a banker with Zenith the Bank, than say I'm a nursery, primary, and secondary school teacher with Christabel Schools. Now, you must learn to say no with clarity and confidence when the opportunities do not align. I had to contend with my dad who felt like, Kilonshia, are you stupid? Do you know how many people will give anything to get that kind of a job? but I said no to who was helping me and no to my father as well. So, I mean, when it comes to alignment, it's not always obvious. But if it builds the skills and the character you need for your destination, then it's a step in the right direction. So for me, I chose teaching, not because I like suffering or I like small salary, but because I knew this aligns with where I want to go to. I mean, it helps me to teach, it helps me to touch life. I mean, I started consulting for school. I started training schools as a teacher, so I had a small, deliberately mad consult. Then mad standing for making a difference. So I trained a couple of schools. I tried to get those pictures. I think I've thrown all those things away. I trained schools. I went different places. White Plain British School was one of the biggest schools. It's still one of the biggest schools in Abuja. I went and did trainings for them way back 15 years ago. Do you get it? Now, number 2, maximize every role you step into. That's another thing I learned. I did not treat teaching as a stepping stone to where I was going to. I did the job like that was all I needed to do. I mean, I got multiple awards as the best teacher, the best dressed teacher, the best this teacher, the best that teacher. I mean, every other end of the year, I was getting one award or the other. I introduced so many things to the school. I mean, for the first time, I organized, I called it Valentine's Special. I made every pupil and student in that school dressed in red and blue jeans. And I took the entire school to an orphanage in Gishiri. And for the first time, some of my pupils were seeing homeless children. They never believed that there are children who had no parents. I mean, my MD then said, how are you going to pull this up? Where are we going to get money to buy all of the things? I said, ma, don't worry. I'm going to write to the parents. We had a full bus load of things that parents had donated for us to take to that orphanage. And for as long as I was in that school, we were doing that every year. I mean, that was me maximizing that role. I was a teacher. I was not a consultant, quote unquote. I was not a consultant. I was a teacher, but I was looking for opportunities to add value everywhere. I was looking for opportunities to add value. I mean, my simple advice to you: develop the habit of excellence such that everything you do has a touch, has that Midas touch on it, has that excellence on it every time. If you're a singer, sing well. If you're a writer, write well. If you're front desk, do it like there's no other front desk anywhere in the world. Let there be a touch of excellence in everything that you do. I mean, early as school was resuming, they were calling me to come and do training in that same school. But I didn't oblige them because I don't, let's not go into it. But I said no, because I could go and do a training for them for free, but they were pricing me in a way that made me feel stupid. So I felt like, no. What I was bringing is premium. If you can't pay premium, there's a way we can talk about it. I could even run it for free. But for you to think that you can give me something sultry for it, I turned it down. Now, so show up with excellence daily, even when no one is watching. So I was training teachers when I was not earning anything, when they would give me La Casera with donuts and 10K transport fare for training the teachers. But I did it. I was using it to hone my skills, right? So show up and do it with excellence like your life depends on it. Now, also identify transferable skills from your current role or your current job. So some of the skills I identify was communication skill, leadership skill, problem solving skills. These are some of the skills I developed working in the nursery, primary, and secondary school. The pain for me is that I was teaching French, and the way I teach the lower nursery, nursery 1, nursery 2, is totally different from the way I'm going to teach primary 1, and then the way I'm going to teach those in secondary school, because it's totally different. For the nursery, one time I did an audio of myself, and I sent it to my young wife. Then I was just like 2 years in marriage. And my wife said, "Is this what you do every day?" I go into a class and I compose songs to teach them, and I'm dancing and dancing when I leave that class, and I go to another class when I'm doing literature in French, and I'm reading something more serious. I did that for years. But you see, I was developing communication skill, I was developing leadership skill, I was developing problem solving skills. Nobody was teaching me how to do it, but I just found a way of doing it. Never despise small beginnings. Never despise the days of small beginnings, right? The skill you sharpen in hidden seasons will announce you in public seasons. The skills you sharpen in hidden seasons will announce you in public seasons. So it's important that you hone your skills. Some of you want to work in the biggest places, but you see, the reason why you're not even there is because you have not acquired the skills for that level. Let me round off quickly. Number 3, intentionally build relationships and network. Intentionally, I use the word intentionally build relationships and networks. While I was teaching, I told you that I met some of the brightest minds, I knew. Some of these students, one of my students, Adela just graduated with the first class from Redeemers University, went to Nile University and did her master's last year. She's a lawyer. And then we got to talk last year. And then she started to tell me some of the things that she's doing and the impact of my life, teaching her all of those years while I was in Christabel School. Through some of these students, I have met the INEC chairman for River State, and I got to do stuff with them. Do you understand? And I've gone ahead to meet other people. So deliberately build network, build people, meet people. I met people. Someone said to me, "Say, I like the way you speak English, and I like the way you read, and all of that." I met somebody who took me on an elocution. He's a Ghanaian, Mr. Osetutu, and we worked together for almost 2 years. And I was building my diction, clearing stuff, and all of that. Now I'm using that today, and I could pinpoint and say, no, this is wrong pronunciation, this is right pronunciation, and all that. When I hear people say, oh, you're an epitome of beauty, I say, no, it's not epitome, it's epitome. It's not epitome. When I say cliche, it's not cliche, it's cliche. I mean, it's association with people like that that built me up, cleaned some of the Yoruba accent and some of the Hausa accents I had to get out of my mouth. Do you understand? And some of those relationships, I am still benefiting from them today. All right. So build your network. Be a giver in the relationship. I want to say that. Don't be a taker. Be a giver in the relationship. Share value, share genuine concern and interest, and support others before asking for help. Support others before asking for help. These 3 things helped me through my career to where I am, and I'm still using it up to tomorrow. Today, tomorrow, and next, I will choose alignment over convenience. I will maximize every role I step into. And of course, I'm building network and relationships. I will end with this example. So last year, I wanted to meet someone. I wanted to call his name. I almost called him. No, but I think I can call him. So I wanted to meet Pastor Isaac Oyedepo. So I called a friend of mine and said, I want to meet Pastor Isaac and all of that. And they tried to get me the PA's number, just did not work. This person used to work with him, stop working with him. I just went. So I said, okay, you know what? Let me shoot him a message on Instagram. So I shot him a message on Instagram. I said, sir, these and these and these, I'd like to meet you, and blah, 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 blah. That was sometimes in November last year. Up till now, he has not replied to that Instagram message. But in February, my mentor came into town from the US and he said, oh, PG, that's what he calls me. Say, PG, I'm in town. Let's hang out on Sunday now. So I went with my wife, saw him on Sunday, we gisted and all of that. And then on Monday, Tuesday, he was somewhere. Wednesday, he was supposed to be running a training for some people. So he said, hey, PG, would you be free to come for this training? I said, sure, I'm coming for the training. Do you want me to drive you? He said, no, I have a driver. So we ran the training. He introduced me to some of the directors at the what's the name now? Nigerian Pensions Board or something. Introduced me to some of them. Say, oh, this guy's my guy in Nigeria is a trainer and whatever. If you guys ever try to get me and you can't get me, this is the guy to get to. I'll give you his contact and all of that. So this is him introducing me to some of those people. And he said to me, I purposely introduced you to them because I want you to take advantage of it. But that's not the crux of my stuff. So Tuesday we did that, or Wednesday we did that, Thursday. And then I called him up on Thursday evening. I said, so when are you leaving town? I said, I'm leaving on Friday. I said, would you mind if I'm your chauffeur, your driver? Can I drive you around on Friday? He said, no, PG, I don't want to stress you. I have a driver. No, I don't want to stress you. I don't want to stress you. I said, no, sir. I want you to stress me. I want to take you around. Anywhere you want to go on Friday, I'm yours. Anywhere, use me, spend me, whatever, I'm going to do that. He said, oh, thank you so much. I'm so grateful and all that. Meet me at 8 a.m. So 8 a.m., I'm in Guzapi. I went to pick him up. And then he said to me, he said, you know what? I'm going to the airport. My flight is for 1 p.m. There's somebody I need to see around House on the Rock. Do you know this particular estate? I say, yes. He says, so take me there. I took him to that estate. And we got to the person's house, and I parked outside. He said, give me a moment. I'm coming out. He went in, had his meeting with this particular person. I was in the car for like an hour or a little over an hour. When he came back, he said, sorry, Opele, I took time. I said, no, sir. Anything you want to do, I'm here for you. Where else do you want to go to? He said, do you know this estate? He called the name of the estate. I said, yes. He said, I need to see Isaac Oyedepo. I said, sir, I'm going to Pastor Isaac Oyedepo's house. So we drove straight to Pastor Isaac Oyedepo's house. And as usual, like I did before, I parked the car and sat in the car. I said, no, don't sit in the car. Come. I want to introduce him to you. Come and meet him. And so this was me in front of Isaac Oyedepo. He said that this is my guy, this is Pastor Benga, this is what he does with men and all of that. And we spent about 1.5 hours talking and gisting and say, I take his number. If you need anything in Abuja, just call. This is the guy and all of that. And that's how I met this guy on a platter of gold. But how did I meet him? Creating values. I didn't go cap in hand saying, I want to meet him. What I was saying, my mentor, you can't be in town. I want to serve you. Can I serve you? Can I be your chauffeur? I'm going to spend my fuel. I'm going to drive around. But let me do that for you. Do you get it? So when it comes to career acceleration, habits that you need to develop, first one is to align with purpose. Number 2, excel everywhere you go. Make sure excellence is your watchword. And number 3, connect with the right people. Connect with the right people. Start writing down the names of people you want to meet and what solution you want to put in their hand when you meet them. Whatever you're doing right now, it might not be your ideal job. Do it with so much excellence, such that when you leave that place, your legacy cannot be erased from that industry or from that organization where you work. And always remember, align what you do with the purpose of your life. Thank you very much for this moment. I hope I did not outshoot my time. Uncle Git.
Thank you, Coach Benga. Thank you. Please let's celebrate him in the comment section. Thank you so much. Amazing session. I took a number of points from there. Thank you so much. We'll be back after the media break for a question and answer session. Please don't go away. Let's stay tuned during the media break while we return for the question and answer session. Thank you so much. Please let's celebrate him in the comment section. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Thank you for staying tuned. Thank you for joining again today. Just before we continue, I just want to remind us about the Career Acceleration Summit. It's holding on the 10th and 11th of October, 2025. As mentioned earlier, this is not just your regular event. It's one where those who are just starting out in their career, those who are looking to change career, those who are looking to advance in their career, get the opportunity to meet with professionals who will share their journey and let them know the opportunities that are available. It's a place where you can re-strategize and upskill. Please don't miss this event. It's entirely free. The first day of the event is virtual. We'll be joining live on YouTube. And the second day of the event is physical. It will hold at the Raw Materials Research Event Hall in Maitama. All you need to do is click on the link in the chat room to register and be a part of that event. During the media break, you would have seen some other courses that we have at CAS Consults. CAS Consults we are the organization that hosts the Career Acceleration Summit. We have the Customer Service Clinic for organizations who desire their customer service to be top notch. You can't do anything in your organization without retaining customers. So the customer service clinic is key. You can buy that package. It's one that would enrich your organization. The Train the Trainer course is also available for those who desire to be trainers, just like Coach Benga, who just spoke. It's one that you need to get. So we'll go straight into the question and answer. I took a lot of points from what Coach Benga said. Thank you so much once again for being a part of this. So I'll just start with the first one. You talked about alignment and vision. You said we should choose alignment over convenience. So how do you know? How do you practically know that this opportunity aligns with your long-term vision and is not just for your immediate needs? How do you know that practically?
Okay, so the first thing is, I mean, before you even go into like the workplace, what are the things that you have been doing, right? I mean, many times people work and they don't pay attention to the things that they are gifted at.
Mm.
I'm, I mean, I came a mouthful. I'd rather interact with you and gist and talk than be on my own. I'm a people's person. I mean, so I should work around things that evolves around people, not sitting in front of a computer all by myself or counting money or whatever it is. Because see, your purpose should align to the things that come to you um almost naturally. I mean, almost naturally. All right. What you're gifted at, what you're skilled at. Secondly, you will notice that you have repeated opportunities in this area. I'll give you an example. Growing up, I was a shy person. I didn't want to stand in front of people to speak, although I knew there's something about talking with people inside of me. However, I didn't want to do that. But I found out that whether it's in church or in school, the lecturer would just say, "Oh, Monsieur là avec des lunettes." He said that man, I studied French. He said that man with glasses. Like there are other people wearing glasses in this class. Oh, la vie sociopolitique au Nigeria, discuter. They will always ask me to say something. Do you understand? Sorry, asking me to unmute on this system. That system is making a noise. That's why I'm using this as my microphone. Is that okay? So let me just skip it. This system is making some noise. You know, so
That's
and
fine. Yes. Go ahead. Yes.
so they just call me out and say, "Oh, la vie sociopolitique, allez discuter." In a class of like 60 people, how did you find me where I was sitting behind? And then in church, they say, "Oh, who is supposed to do this? Benga. Who is supposed to do that?" Benga. When you see repeated opportunities like that, it speaks to certain things that God has gifted you to be able to do. Sometimes you feel, honestly, I always felt I was not competent enough to speak, but I always had speaking gigs. Somebody say, okay, come and talk. Oh, Eminga, would you please round off what we're doing? It's a birthday party. Can you just do the vote of thanks? I mean, everywhere. So speaks to the things that I feel that God wanted me to do. So pay attention to the things you're naturally gifted at. Pay attention to repeated opportunities. Sorry. Repeated opportunities that come your way. Pay attention to those things. And then you can ask the people who are closest to you, what are the things you think I'm good at? These things will help you know your path, because if you get into a hustler's mentality, you'll just be looking for anything to do. Today you are into IT, tomorrow you are selling spare parts, the day after you are doing public speaking, you're just everywhere. So speak to the people who are closest to you, they can tell you that, so it
Thank
helps you.
you. I mean, yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. In times of pressure, you talked about walking away from a job that was going to pay you way higher than what you are earning. I mean, there are times when you are really under pressure, you have family needs, and all. How do you maintain that alignment without feeling like you're missing out? Because I mean, we need to
So
be practical.
so let me tell you one thing I did that made it a little easier. Because where money is concerned, my brother, passion will jump out of window when you are hungry. Leave that passion matter. Passion will jump out of the window when you can't pay your bills. So I was a teacher. I was earning 33,000. One of the advantages of being a teacher is the parents will want you to take their children. So I had home lessons I was doing. My take home was 110,000 naira, although my salary was 33,000. I was doing a savings of 40,000 and 60,000 every month. I was saving 60,000 naira every month, but my salary was 33,000. So I will say to you, I mean, and I was able to do that because I believe that this is my job and this is what I'm supposed to go to. But in the absence of that, my brother, you might take a job that does not align with your purpose just so you can stay alive. The only problem with that is you might become comfortable earning money and you forget where you are. The truth is that you will always remember your purpose, but sometimes it might be late. So last week, someone came to see me on Monday. He came for coaching, a young man, and we got talking. What's your purpose? What do you really want to do? What's your drive? What's your dream? He wants to be a professional footballer. And he studied in the university, I think computer science or something. Okay, go and do computer science. He said, no, I'm in the academy. I'm training for football and all that. And then I asked him, how old are you? He said, I'm 26. I'm going to be 27 in December. I say, bro, you cannot be a professional footballer anymore. That window is lost. Especially if you want to play in the UK or in the US, or you want to play in any of those leagues. Your best entry point is between 16 and 22, 23. Ogbeni, you are 27. You must really be crazily good. That's one. Number two, you must be able to slash your age down for any academy to carry you. So if you take my honest opinion, I really dream this dream, because the season for you to become a professional footballer, Otilo. So that's the other side about chasing this money. You can chase it. What you might end up with is that you get used to earning money and you might never find yourself back to the things that you are. So wait. Otherwise, get a side hustle. Do something else. Just do something. Stay alive. Just do something. Right. So that's my answer to that.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. So, I mean, in saying no to certain opportunities, how do you say no without burning bridges? Because sometimes these opportunities come from people who you still need in the future. How do you say no without burning bridges?
All right. So you have to be as polite as possible. These people are older than you, probably way ahead of you. You have to appeal. So I told you guys that I said to my dad that this does not align. The person who was getting the job for me, I just drifted away from him because he was talking to my dad more than he was talking to me. So I allowed my dad tell him that Ogbeni he is as if he just likes to do teaching thing. Oh, let's leave this, you know, the way these children are. But you see, the side that I did not say, which did not also align with the fact was at that point I was 27 years old. And they said to me, you know what, we want 25. Just go and swear an affidavit that you're 25-year-old. It did not align with my core value. And the guy was telling me, that's all you need to do. I will give you an appointment letter by any day of the week you can resume. I said, okay, sir, let me go think about it. My father did the remaining talk with him to get it. I know that people here, people have varying opinions about it. That I mean, it's just to swear an affidavit, and then you reduce your age by 2 years, and footballers do it. People do it all over the place. For me, integrity is key. Is one of my core values. I wasn't there in the baby factory session of heaven deciding when I was going to be born. That was no fault of mine. I mean, and then jam me that side, left school late, and that's it. You know, so I also had a moral ground to say, no, I don't want to take it. But ultimately, appeal to the people, you could give them strong reasons. I feel that this opportunity doesn't actually align with where I want to go to, and I don't want to come into your organization and step out of your organization in a year's time. I mean, that would not also be good for you, because if I tell you that I'm going to take this banking job, I will also be looking out for a job that aligns with my purpose. If I get that job, I'm going to quit, and you don't want that. I'm sorry, but I feel the need to say this to you. I mean, any reasonable person will understand. Even if they're angry, what's most important is that you're not saying no, get out. Get out. God has told me
Yeah.
I'm going to be a consultant. No, that's not what you're saying.
Thank you. I mean, so one thing I took from that, you have to be convincing. If you are really, if you are sure about your vision, you're able to communicate it properly in a polite way, anybody will understand and they'll be willing to help when the opportunity arises again. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. So, how do you now sustain discipline of showing up? Even when you feel unnoticed. I mean, that's another thing you mentioned. You talked about your teaching job where you continually do what you're doing, teaching and training for free. Many people didn't notice it at that time. So, how do you sustain that discipline of constantly showing up with excellence in particular? And I mean, nobody notices it, nobody values what you're doing. How do you sustain that discipline?
So the first thing I'll say is, why are you doing what you're doing? You
Yeah.
must define your why. If you're doing it because you want to get clouds, you want to get likes, and my brother, see, you already missed it. Because at that point, you don't have the likes, you don't have I mean, you will give up. So ask yourself, is this thing really a hobby, or is what my heart really, really, really wants to do? If your heart really, really wants to do it, then there's a price to pay. And that price is maintaining excellence in obscurity. And so you must always have the big picture in front of you. There's something bigger. I can take the stress for today because I'm building tomorrow. I mean, one very strong habit, and I think that younger people should embrace, is delayed gratification. Delayed gratification. I mean, you see somebody who doesn't want to do a job of 200K, and you speak to them, they are broke. You're broke. You're not doing anything, but you don't want to receive 200K. 200K is small for you, but you're broke. I don't understand. And many times people do that because somebody is paying the roof over your head. You're not paying house rent. You're in your uncle's house. And then he's dropping you by the office. That's why you're thinking that way. Because if you're paying your house rent, you go and do that 200K and you find something that fits your life. So the most important thing for me is, what is your why? Why are you doing what you're doing? When you define your why very well, then you have the impetus, you have what it takes. And you know that you will not always be here. That's the truth. Nobody who is excellent remains under. Believe me, take it from me. Your coaches are here, they can tell you.
Mm, mm. What is your why? What is your why? Very important. You're not doing it for the ovation. So how do you now measure this personal excellence when external validation is not immediate? How are you able to measure what you are doing to know that you're actually making progress? How do you measure it? Especially when people are around, so you don't even know if you are doing it right. How do you measure it?
Of Fela Duroche since 2002, 2002. I mean, I'd had to pay my way from Zaria to Abuja to come and listen to Fela Duroche and go back to Zaria. I was still in ABU then. I left on a Saturday morning, paid my way, came to Abuja, listened to him, left at 2 p.m., got back to Zaria at 6 p.m. Nobody sent me. I mean, so these are people who have gone ahead of me. I didn't have a one-on-one with Fela Duroche. I didn't have his number. I didn't have any contact. But when he was in a space and he was doing something, I wanted to be there. If I couldn't be there physically, I had his videos, I had his audios, I had stuff that he's done. All right. So I had people I was benchmarking myself against. They were not marking my script, but I could mark my script. I could say, no, the way he did that thing, the way he said this thing, I wish I could do it this way. I wish I could do it that way. You know, so there are people who have gone, like, there's no industry where you want to serve that there's no guru. There's somebody who is doing it at a 7-star level. So even if you don't have direct one-on-one access to them, have access to their materials, have access to what they do. When they put up training, it's career acceleration summit. I mean, you're here, pay for it, come and meet people. Sometimes at this summit, it's not just what they say, it's the people, it's the ambience, it's the excellence that affects you. Then when you go back to your own small space, you notice that you are changing things. Do you understand? Because excellence begets excellence. So I wasn't benchmarking myself against the people who grew up with me in Zaria and the people I knew in Kaduna. I was benchmarking myself against the likes of them, Fela Duroche, them Jimmy Tewe, the Ni Adesanyas. I mean, for a long time I was listening to Les Brown. Les Brown was my guy. I mean, and I would watch Les Brown, Dr. Miles Moreau, and I was like, I mean, one time when I train, I say, write this down. That's Miles Moreau. Say, write this down. Write this down. I mean, so I learned how to put things in bullet points, following people like that. I read their books. I read books. Do you understand? So that helps you to benchmark your excellence. Why nobody's marking you? Are marking it against the gurus.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. That's important. So you need to surround yourself with mentors, people who have gone ahead of you, so you can benchmark with people who have gone ahead, and you know if you are making progress. Thank you so much, Coach Winger. Thank you so much. So I'll just jump into other questions on maximizing the roles. So if you're in a space where you're not even sure what hidden opportunities are available for you there, well, how do you identify these things? How do you identify the hidden opportunities where you can add value in a role where you feel limited? How do you identify these opportunities?
You know, my one of my mentors used to say there are two things that have no enemy: crowd and excellence. Crowd and excellence have no enemy. No matter how much they hate you on that job, they can't fault the work you deliver. That's how you should work. Work in such a way that your boss doesn't like you, your colleagues do not like you, they feel you are pompous, but in behind you they say, Omo, nobody writes a report like Gideon. Nobody does PowerPoint presentation like Gideon. For me, that's the watchword. Even if where you are working, they do not recognize what you're doing, posterity, life will orchestrate itself such that because you're giving so much value, life will come for that value. Even if it's not on that job, somebody else will put you. So I say to people, wherever you are found, can you give it 110% instead of 100%? You and your vision is your only motivation. I mean, why should a teacher rise? Why should a teacher desire? Why should a teacher desire to train other teachers? Some of my mates just felt like this guy, Enupo, he just wants to show. He wants to show, but I was doing it anyways. I mean, and now, honestly, without anything, the difference is clear. I mean, we're light years ahead of each other. I mean, light years apart. Do you get it? So I will still say it, do ordinary things in extraordinary way. That's it. If it's coffee you are serving, serve your coffee in such a way the day you take a sick leave, your boss is wondering, who made this coffee? I prefer Gideon to make this coffee. What is it? And you'll be wondering, it's not just coffee, not to add 2 teaspoons and this thing. No, there's an excellence that you bring to the table. So I think that's for me, that I think what you should pay attention to, and let that be your driving force every day. So, and can I be honest? Some days you wake up, you're not just in your best mood. There are days you wake up, you don't just feel like it. So this is it. When you are on that kind of job, have support systems. I tell people I don't go to job expecting to be hugged. That is Mrs. Oyeni's responsibility to hug me, to touch my head and say, my sweetheart, are you okay? That's not my boss's responsibility. So I don't take my emotional stress to the office. It's none of their business. I had a quarrel with my wife, should not affect the report that I'm putting in on a Monday morning. I need to talk in, deal with myself, and show up on Monday morning like I got this together. So when I leave, I could take a 10 minutes break or 15 minutes or 30 minutes break and go and cry to a friend in the bathroom. That's okay. I call my friend, I say, fine, my head is, I'm tired. When I finish, clean my face, come back to the office and get the job done. I'm paid to get the job done. My boss is not there to hug me. I don't expect hug in the office. I don't need it. And that's why when my boss says happy birthday or doesn't say happy birthday, I know some of you think I'm crazy. It really means nothing to me. I've surrounded my friends. I surrounded myself with friends who will always tell me happy birthday, such that my boss forgetting my birthday means absolutely nothing to me until they forget my salary. We'll have issues with that one. Pay me what I'm due. But hug, leave that. I have brothers, I have friends, wife. They will take care of my emotional needs. Because that's where people get it all wrong. You expect your boss to say, with everything I did, they did not say thank you. It's good for bosses to say thank you. It's a polite thing, it's the right thing to do. But there is not written on your CV or on your JD that when you are done delivering this, you will get a thank you. It's not on your JD. So I go to work, I do my job, like the only thing they owe me is a salary. So I leave with less disappointment. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. So, I mean, you just talked about having a good support system in your journey through life. I mean, you need people that would hold your hands on the way. So now talking about networking and relationships, sometimes building these relationships may be seen as you just wanting to get something. How do you strike that balance between transactional networking and building authentic relationships? We can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, I said, if all you want to do is to step on somebody to go to your next level, it doesn't take much. They will know. So when I was talking about building network, I said, be the giver, not the taker in the relationship. Let me give you a typical example. You know Pastor Godwin. So how I walked into Pastor Godwin's office 2011. I walked into his office and we had the session together. And when I was leaving, I said, okay, bye, see you. He said, okay, sir, we'll see in the next 2 months. My PA will call you to broker a meeting. So come back in 2 months. On my way out of his office, I saw one guy, you will know him, Dr. Steve Progress. I saw him by the side working on a PowerPoint presentation. And I said, what's that? He said, oh, that's pastor's presentation. We're going to go and train so people. And I said, let me look at it. So I peeped. I said, what kind of dry looking PowerPoint presentation is that? And pastor head in his office. He said, what do you mean? I said, sir, this is child. This is, even 10 years ago, I don't used to make this kind of child's play now. I said, can you do it better than this guy? This guy has been the one doing my slide. And I brought out a flash drive. Let him copy this thing. I will send it back to you in less than 24 hours. Your training is on Friday. It was on a Wednesday. I said, by tomorrow, I'll send you. It's okay, copy. Let's see what you bring. By the time I finished it the next day, I emailed it to Pastor. I sent him. I said, okay, this is, just look at it if you're okay with the PowerPoint presentation. I just got a call immediately. He said, Steve, pack all my PowerPoint presentation, put it in a flash drive and send to Mr. Benga quickly. So I've been suffering all these years. Look at this nonsense. See, Steve, come and see what he did. We won the 4. It was not even a WhatsApp call, it was just a normal call. And I was shouting, Steve. I said, what are you doing on Friday evening? I said, Friday evening, nothing, I'm going home. He said, no, I'm going for this training with you. You must follow me for this training. That was it. I was not looking for anything from Pastor Godin. I was just working and I saw a pain point. And I was like, I can put my skill here. And that's how I did this slide. I've been to Kenya with Pastor. I've been to South Africa with Pastor. I've been traveling all over the place to do trainings with him. Was I trying to travel to South Africa? No. Was I trying to go to Kenya? No. I was just trying to help him. So that's how to do it. What value are you bringing to the person, or you just want to step on their head and go? I told you guys that I met Pastor Isaac Oedipo because I was helping my mentor. I said, sir, you know what? Where are you going to? Let me carry you there. I wasn't hoping to go and meet this guy. So redirect your mind. Tell yourself, am I giving value or taking value? As far as building connections, building networks. See, and once they see you as a person of value, they will treat you as such. They won't treat you like, my mentor was saying, no, I shouldn't drive him because he feels like, Wenga of all people. Why would Wenga be driving me? That's how I was feeling. Why would Wenga be driving me? No, I should get a driver. Wenga should sit beside me. But I said, no, yeah, in Abuja, I'm your host. Let me drive you around. And that was it. So I'm saying to somebody there, so when you see somebody say, I want to meet Mr. Gideon, think, if I meet him, what can I give him that will make him remember me? That should be the question. What can I say? What would I do that will make Coach Folake say, you know what, are you free on Friday? Can we have lunch? I think I like your energy. What is that thing? Bring value to the
people. Bring value. I think that's a summary of it. Thank you so much, Coach Benga. We've spent a lot of time here today. Thank you so much. I'll hand over to our lead consultant and convener of the Career Acceleration Summit, Coach Folake, to round this up. You're welcome. Please, let's celebrate her, the convener of Career Acceleration Summit. Let's celebrate her in the chat room as she rounds up this session.
Hello, everyone. Coach Benga, that was amazing. I had such a blast. I think this is a good time to just celebrate Coach Benga for me. It's been truly inspiring. Yes, I was with a bunch of youngins today at the NYC camp. That's why I'm looking like a Gen Z in the making. Don't worry, I'm Gen Z by heart. Anyway, one of the things I said to them is that your acceleration journey starts from the choices you make from day one. Yes. You see, that choice that you make at the beginning of your career will define how far your career will go. Sometimes we think that those choices they don't really affect us. We can just do a few years. Let me enter that place. I just want to stay there. I want to collect that bank money. I want to taste some of that oil money. And before you know what's happening, you're stuck.
18 years.
When you finally wake up, 10 years have gone. Yeah. Like I always like to say, sometimes salary can be the price that they give us to forget our dreams. Absolutely. And in the journey of acceleration, it's beyond the salary. It's making impact. It's writing in the big picture. It's bringing out your essence and your reason, your strong why. That's why I love when you spoke about that why. The strong why that makes you do what you do every single day. I'm someone that believes that people need to chase purpose early so that they don't end up like almost 40 and start chasing it like some of us did. Because by that time, you should be consolidating. You should be looking at what are the legacy outcomes that wants to translate into in my 50s, not just trying to figure out what direction do I want to reinvent. Hello. I'm so happy for you guys. Can you celebrate Coach Benga for me in the chat room? Make it loud one more time. And I want to take one last word from you before I close out the set. We just have about 3 minutes to be off the live, so don't go anywhere. Please stay with us. Make sure you're engaging in the chat room. Meet someone. There are a lot of amazing people in the chat room. But I'm looking at the YouTube chat room and some of us are just there. We're not making ourselves visible. You should be visible. Huh? Be visible. Stop hiding. This is the time to put yourself in front of the people who can see you. Like Coach Wenga said, I could say, hello, hi. I like your energy. Let's have lunch. And that would be your opportunity to the next level. I know people that have placed in fantastic opportunities. Notice that I don't call them jobs. Yeah. Because if a job pays you, when that job goes away, you are broke. Yeah. If a job pays you, when that job goes away, you are broke. But if an opportunity finds you and you find it back, if that opportunity closes, you have the tools to open another one. Very important. So, Coach Benga, before you run, last words. What is that one quote? Everyone has theirs. I shared mine in the promo video that I shared this week. What is that one quote that has driven your acceleration journey over the years? One word, one line, one phrase that works for you.
So it's a quote by a former NBA superstar. I don't know what his name is, but I know that quote. He said, if we work only on the days we feel good, we will not get much done.
Wow.
If we
Powerful.
work only on the days we feel good, we won't get much
true.
done.
So true. Wow. Thank you so much, Coach Benga. Thank you for coming, and we look forward to seeing you at the Physical Summit. For all of you, oh, there's a question in the chat room. I'm going to take that question so that he can respond. Give me a minute. Let me dig it out. Give me just 1 minute. There's a question in the chat room. Are you sharing with me? I can't seem to see the question. Oh, someone is asking, how do you keep your motivation going? That's a strong one, though. Because one of the reasons why people don't, people want to follow a path, but once they start, they lose the steam to follow through. So how do you sustain your motivation on the days when it's hard, it's rough, not looking good, you're beaten, you're battered, you're blue, your voice is gone, everything is turning upside down? How do you keep going?
All right, so the first thing I said was know your why. So I won't say that again. The next thing I'll say is go get a coach. Somebody needs to be talking to you.
Please
Go
tell
and get a
them.
coach. Go and get a coach. So this person I spoke about, I say, oh, my mentor, he came to town and all that. Coach Folake knows. I paid him $2,000 last year, June.
You have finally shared the figures with me. Awesome.
$2,000 was what I paid him to do a virtual coaching session for me. He gave me 6 coaching sessions, which was him being benevolent. I mean, out of this world benevolence. He gave me 6 sessions over the period of 5 months. And we're meeting once a month for 6 months. So that's how I got that close. I'd known him before, but that's how I got that close to him. So get a coach, because your coach will reduce the lifespan of your wahala. It will shrink. Your life coach will shrink all the mistakes you're making. They will reduce it for you. So on the days when I feel like my head is not correct, I'll say, sir. So now I've paid. So now I can do, sir. You just PG Alpha, let's talk on the phone. Let me give you 15 minutes. What's up? And then we'll talk. And then, I mean, the last time we spoke about 4 weeks ago, I mean, it was like rain was falling on me. I'm like, how come I don't know these things? How come I don't know this thing? I will talk to this guy for 15 minutes. It's as if it's just opening new chapters. My head is doing, so go and get a coach, I beg you. Go and get a coach.
So profound. So profound. Thank you, Coach Benga. I can see a few comments in the chat room saying they are ready for their lunch. Wait for it. Lunchtime is coming. Coach Benga, we're going to let you go as we round up for today. Thank you for doing the awesomeness that you are and how you've always brought value on this platform at the Acceleration Hub. We're grateful for you and we hope to see you physically at the summit. If you're looking out to see Coach Benga, when you see him that day, see I was on your live session. It blessed me. I learned. I was inspired. Thank you so much, sir. We would see you some other time. In closing, guys, don't forget to register. If you are yet to share the link of this live video with someone else, then you are not. I'm trying to pick my very nice words. You're not being fair. You're getting value. Share it with someone else. It's free, but it's costing us a lot. It's not free. There's nothing of value that is free. There's nothing that costs money. There's nothing that you make money from that ever comes for free. It comes at a cost. So share it with someone out there. Make the investment worthwhile. Subscribe, like, comment. Get ready for the next fireside chat next week, Friday is the time, 4 p.m. on this YouTube link. Set up your notification bell so that you can get a notification every single time we go live. My name is Coach Folake, and I am the Acceleration Coach. I can't wait to host you at the summit. I want to see you and your friends, and we would love to do this acceleration journey with you. Have a beautiful week, and winning looks amazing on you. We're going to be taking a few videos. Stay with us. Don't run out of the room. Make yourself visible in the chat room. I'm going to be jumping in there to see all the amazing people who are on the live with us. Over to the studio in-house as we take our closing rollout. Bye.
Vendors, why you are abusing your customers? Hey, those voice notes. Customer will say one, you will say 10. For what? It's a service. You serve. The customer is here, you are here, you deliver a service. How did I know all of this? I attended a customer service training some 3-4 years ago. Yeah, and it changed my business. Now, customers rate my customer service over 95%. I don't want to say 100%. I don't want to be proud. Yeah, but my customer service in this store, in this business, is something to reckon with. Because I'm intentional. So I invested in my business and the way to find out what keeps a customer loyal. Do you want loyal customers? Invest in a customer service training today. Go to CAS Consults now. They trained me 3-4 years ago and I've been excelling. They are offering a customer service training in March. Sign up, put money in your business and see the changes you desire. People are busy customer. Okay now.